So, hello everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. I hope you here as well. Before going more into detail, we will shortly introduce ourselves. So, me, Erikas, is from Orion Securities, the project manager of corporate finance, and you can shortly also introduce from
My,
Neodenta side.
my name is Laurinas, and I'm responsible for marketing and sales.
Hello, everybody. I am Egle Kunčuvienė. I am co-owner of Neodenta company.
Yeah, so we can not wait and start. Now Denta is an implantology and aesthetic dentistry clinic chain that is seeking to uh, issue up to 3 million euros of bonds for further expansion of their dental clinics in Lithuania. As mentioned, the issuer is the Neodenta. It's a public bond issue. The issue size is 3 million euros. The coupon rate is 10%, fixed coupon rate, which will be paid semi-annually, and the term is 3 years. There are three types of first rank collaterals. The first one is the primary pledge on real estate properties, which with a market value of roughly 2 million euros. The market value was conducted by independent real estate valuators. Also, there is a primary pledge on the real estate assets that will be acquired once the bond issue will be issued. And also the bank account to which the proceeds from the bond issue will be uh, designated solely. And all that amount which will be raised from the bond issue will be used for the expansion of dental clinics in Lithuania and for certain both new and existing services that Neodenta provides. Moving to the term sheet of the bonds, there are certain parameters that I already mentioned. But moreover, the subscription period is from this Monday, meaning that from December 2nd till December 13th, till the next Friday. The issue date will be on the 17th of December. The maturity, as mentioned, is 3 years. The interest rate is 10%. The coupon payments will be paid twice a year on 17th of June and 17th of December. The bonds will be also listed on the First North Nasdaq Vilnius exchange within three months after the issue. As a collateral, I mentioned that there will be first rank pledges both on the real estate assets that are already controlled by the sister companies of Neodenta and the assets, the real estate which will be acquired from the proceeds of the bond issue and the bank account to which the proceeds from the bond issue will be placed. For the additional issuers liabilities, we foreseen a couple financial covenants, as one of them is net debt to EBITDA ratio cannot exceed 4.5 times. The equity ratio should be greater than 20%, which is now is over 55%, and after the issue will be around 35%. The loan to value ratio cannot exceed 0.91, meaning that all the collateral should be 10% higher than the bond issues. Or in other words, the collateral during the whole period when the bonds will be issued should be greater than 3.3 million euros. There is also an early redemption right for the issuer who has a right to redeem the bonds before the maturity. But for that, it has to pay premium for early redemption at certain times. So 1.5% premium will be paid if the issuer redeems the bonds after 1 year, 1% premium will be paid to the investors if the bonds will be redeemed after 2 years. And if the bonds will be redeemed after 2.5 years, there's no premium for the investors. There are also some other liabilities which are pretty typical in all bond issues. So let's move further. Use of proceeds. So yeah, the issuer has already started their expansion even before the bond issue. So there are two real estate objects in Brasto Street and Savanori Prospectus, who they already acquired using their bridge financing. So for that reason, the issuer will repay their bridge financing using bond proceeds to take the collateral, take the pledge of the other creditors and transfer it to the bondholders. So the amount of this refinancing will be 633,000 euros. The remaining amount can only be used for the acquisition of new real estate objects, also for the equipment, which will also be used for clinics, and also to finance the acquisition of the companies. So there's let's say, they can do that, but that's not their first priority. They are more targeting for the acquisitions of new real estate targets, but that's also an option. All these acquisitions will be done through their sister companies. So we will probably discuss a little bit later about the structure so we can spend more time there. Yeah, and talking about the collateral, as we already mentioned about it, but here are the list of real estate properties which will be pledged to the bondholders. So some of those properties, the first three ones, no, the Vilkaviškis, the property in the Vilkaviškis, also the land plot with buildings located in Baltų Prospektas, Kaunas. So these are the locations where the issuer is operating. The other projects are the existing real estate assets which they acquired before the issue, and will develop their new dental clinics and yeah, expand their operations there. So these real estate objects, as mentioned before, are valued by the independent valuators, and the market value is roughly 2 million euros. Also, as mentioned before, the primary pledge on the real estate assets, which will be acquired from the proceeds from the bond issue. So those real estate assets will be also pledged as a primary pledge for the bondholders, and the bank accounts to which the proceeds from the bond issue will be pledged to the bondholders as well. Moving to the investment highlights slide, and before passing the word to the issuer, it's worth mentioning that the issuer is not a beginner in this field. They're already working here for 24 years, and they are pioneers in cosmetic dentistry, also the founders of National Association of Aesthetic Dentistry. So they have a huge experience both in the dental industry, but also in the expansion, as they did by themselves already in the past. The business is stable and profitable throughout the years. It was always profitable since its establishment. And in the last 5 years, including the COVID, the gross profit margins were pretty stable and ranged between 70% and 80%. The net profit margin was around 10% and 15%, so it's quite high in this industry. The equity ratio as of 30th of June 2024 amounted to over 55%. That's also a good result from the balance sheet perspective. Also, the Neodenta has a clear development strategy. They were analyzing the market for a couple of years till they came to this decision. And currently, they have a plan to open 6 new dental clinics in the upcoming 3 years, probably even less, according if everything goes according to the plan. And looking at the collateral side and coupon rate side, we believe that the risk and return ratio is great. Additionally, looking at the financial covenants, which the issuer has to comply with. So now I will pass my word to Laurynas, and he will continue talking about the company and its plans.
Well, thank you, Erikas, for the introduction, and good day, everyone, again. Let's take a look at the Neodenta Clinic from the inside and what we do. Neodenta is a modern, innovative network of dental clinics dedicated to providing the highest quality implantology and aesthetic dentistry services. We established over 24 years ago, and the company is a pioneer in its field, combining cutting-edge technology with a highly skilled team of professionals. At the moment, we are operating in 3 cities, Kaunas, Vilnius, and Vilkaviškis, and Neodenta plans to expand further to meet the increasing demand for specialized dental care. The company has a unique positioning in the market, providing all services in one place, and also we have a dental laboratory which ensures end-to-end control of quality and service. The combination of financial health and strategic focus on growth positions Neodenta as a compelling investment opportunity. Let's take a look at the numbers. In 2023, the sales revenue reached 5.45 million, which represents an 18.3% increase compared to the previous year. Gross profit margin consistently remained high, averaging around 71.7% for the first half of 2024, ensuring strong operational efficiency. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization stood at 1.09 million in 2023, which reflects a robust 20% margin. As of June 2024, the equity level has grown to 2.24 million, represents a solid 55.4% of total assets, which demonstrates the company financial stability. Here we can see the Neodenta key milestones and development plan. The Neodenta journey has begun of one of the consistent growth and innovation. Founded in 2000 with its first clinic in Kaunas, the company became a leader in aesthetic dentistry. Over the years, we expanded its footprints with new locations, innovating offerings like its dental laboratory and the newest orthodontic center. In 2024, the company took a major step by opening an orthodontic facility with 3 dental chairs to meet the growing demand and increase the patient flow. This expansion reflects Neodenta's commitment to delivering higher quality, accessible dental care while staying at the forefront of technological advancements. Neodenta continued expansion underscores its dedication to providing comprehensive dental services, making it an excellent investment opportunity. Established in 2000, Neodenta has grown significantly, opening clinics in key cities like Vilkaviškis, Vilnius, and establishing a modern dental laboratory in 2008. In 2024, Neodenta launched an orthodontic center, which increased patient capacity from 48 hours to 144 hours per month, which helped us optimize service availability. The company's our plan is to open 6 new clinics by 2027, further expanding its presence and ensuring access to specialized dental care throughout. Here we can see the location that I mentioned in the previous slide. Talking about Neodenta, we established itself as a leader in Lithuania dental care sector, strategically selecting locations to maximize accessibility and service delivery. With existing clinics in key cities, the company is well positioned to capitalize market opportunities. The expansion plan underscores Neodenta focus on underserved regions, ensuring that more patients have access to high-quality dental care. This strategy is not only aimed at increasing revenue, but also at solidifying Neodenta's reputation as a leading provider of dental services in Lithuania. This expansion reflects the company's proactive approach to growth, making it a promising investment opportunity. Let's explore Neodenta's geographic presence and expansion strategy. Current locations. Neodenta currently operates in 3 cities: Vilnius, Kaunas, and Vilkaviškis, which ensures a strong presence in key urban areas and are located in highly visible places. Talking about a future expansion over the next 3 years, we plan to open 6 new clinics in locations in Kaunas district, Vilnius, Šiauliai, Klaipėda, and Marijampolė. About the market penetration. This expansion plan is designed to meet the growing demand for specialized dental services across Lithuania, significantly increasing the company's market share and patients' accessibility. Here we can see our partners and our services. Neodenta offers a comprehensive range of dental services, from routine care to specialized orthodontics, supported by strong partnerships with Territorial Health Insurance Fund, also known as TLK, and numerous corporate clients. These agreements provide consistent revenue and foster a loyal client base, solidifying Neodenta's position in the market. The contract with TLK for partially compensated orthodontic services uniquely positions Neodenta as a leader in a public healthcare segment. Additionally, we partner with 168 organizations, ensure a steady flow of patients, enhancing service delivery and market penetration. Neodenta's ability to form strategic alliances and expand its services offerings makes it a compelling and sustainable investment opportunity. Let's dive into Neodenta's service offerings and its strong network of partnerships. Service agreements with Territorial Health Insurance Fund. We are one of only 16 clinics in Lithuania which has a contract to provide partially compensated orthodontic services. The revenue from TLK contracts reached 245,000 euros in 2023. New agreements are projected to increase the revenue from 425,000 to $700,000 by 2025, enhancing the company's cash flow. Corporate partnerships. As I mentioned earlier, we partner with 168 companies and institutions to provide dental care to employees, their families, children, while creating a steady and diverse revenue stream. These partners ensure a consistent influx of clients and broaden Neodenta's market research. Notable partners include educational institutions, corporate offices, healthcare networks, all contributing to a reliable customer base. From 2021 to 2023, the number of clients served grew a compound annual growth rate of 4.3%, further solidifying Neodenta's position as a trusted dental care provider. Talking about the structure and shareholding and operating structure, Neodenta's corporate structure reflects its commitment to strategic governance and risk mitigation. By keeping real estate and equipment ownership separate from day-to-day operations, the company maximizes operational focus while minimizing legal risks. The family-led management team ensures a strong alignment between the leadership and business objectives, providing a clear direction for long-term growth. This structure is not only fosters financial stability, but also supports flexibility in scaling operations. Neodenta truthful organization model makes it well-positioned, resilient investment opportunity. Financial overview. We look at the corporate structure. Neodenta is a family-owned business with 50% ownership each by founded Darius and Agle. This stable ownership model ensures strong leadership and unified vision. The company separates its operational activities from asset management to minimize legal risks. Medical equipment and facilities are leased from related entities from Kunčevienės individual company and UAB Vilniaus Odontologija, which hold to the real estate assets. This structure allows Neodenta to focus on its core business, delivering high-quality dental care while ensuring effective asset management. The loans provided to related companies are monitored to ensure compliance with market standards, further enhancing financial stability. And here we can see the management, the family-owned business. Agle, Darius, myself, Laurynas, and Juste. Agle is a CEO and the founder together with Darius. Both of them are dentists. Darius is still working as a doctor while Agle moved herself from the dentistry to the management. Darius specializes in prosthetic dentistry with over 20 years of experience and is a member of Lithuanian National Aesthetic Dentistry Association. Agle Kunčevienė is a pioneer in aesthetic dentistry. She serves as the president of the National Aesthetic Dentistry Association and is a member of European International Aesthetic Dentistry Organizations. Neodenta is a family enterprise ensuring long-term commitment, consistency in vision, and dedication to quality care. The company is transitioning to involve younger family members, including myself, responsible for sales and marketing, and Juste, which manages the Vilnius branch, ensuring continually in management innovation. And here is our team where we have doctors working from the first day since we opened until now, and they have many years of experience. Some of them are professors, doctors, and finalists of competition in aesthetic dentistry. For example, Arūnas, Birutė, and Žilvinas Budrevičius, they are working almost since day one in our clinic, and they are one of the leading doctors at Neodenta clinic. Here we can see the market overview where dental companies stand in Lithuania. Neodenta operates in a dynamic and growing market. The steady increase in the number of dental clinics in Lithuania reflects the rising demand for dental care, driven by higher public awareness and advancements in dental technology. Neodenta's strategic focus on expanding its clinic network in underserved area positions it well to capture a larger share of growing market. As one of the leading providers, Neodenta is poised to benefit from continued growth in demanding higher quality dental services. This strong market outlook combines Neodenta's strategic positioning, makes it a promising investment opportunity. Let's take a look at the dental care market in Lithuania and Neodenta competitive positioning. The number of dental clinics in Lithuania has grown steadily, reaching around 1,500 in 2023, which compounded an annual growth rate of 4% since 2015. Neodenta ranks amongst the largest dental care clinic providers with consistent revenue growth and stable net profit margins. Increasing the awareness of the dental health and the growing demand for specialized services such as orthodontics and implantology, children continue to drive the market expansion. So these markets tend to provide a favorable environment for Neodenta's planned growth and expansion initiatives. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the overview, Linas. I will continue with the key financials of the issuer. We already spoke, both of us, Linas and me, about the financial, but let's get deeper into the financial statements. Now to the profit and loss statement. So if we look at the yearly results, the revenues in 2023 were increased by roughly 18%, and amounted to almost 5.5 million euros. The gross profit margins were almost identical in both of the years, 2022 and 2023, as some of the cost of goods sold were reclassified, and the margins were almost identical, which amounted to 74.4% in 2022 and 74.6% in 2023. If we look at the net profit in nominal terms, it amounted to 855,000 in 2023, and the EBITDA was roughly 1.1 million euros. If we compare half-year results, the sales revenue were almost identical as well, while the profitability, gross profit, was pretty similar as well. But from net profit side perspective, both in nominal and marginal terms, the net profit decreased. It's a little bit related to already ongoing expansion, and however, as Linas mentioned earlier, Neodenta already opened 3 new dental chair cabinets, who will have a positive impact to the financials, both to the sales side, but to the profitability as well. So from what we see right now, we believe that the result of 2024 will be similar to the 2023. If we move to the balance sheet side and to the asset side, you will probably see that there are no real estate objects in the balance sheet, but you will have to look at the financial asset side, where there is loans to associates and subsidiaries. So this amount corresponds to the real estate acquired by the sister companies, and this, let's say, in that way, the issuer plans to acquire real estate objects in the future as well. So if we look at the split in those 2 sister companies, the loans amount to Vilnius Odontologija UAB 1.4 million roughly, and 1.8 million loan is issued to the sister company, Eglės Kunčiuvienės individual company. So both of those companies own medical equipment and real estate, and they only rent it to the mother company, let's say, the issuer, the Neodenta, who actually runs the operational business. The sister company is only controls the real estate and medical equipment. If we move to the other side of the balance sheet, to the equity side and the liability side, we mentioned already earlier that the shareholder equity is kind of strong in the balance sheet structure, amounting to roughly 2.3 million euros, and in The equity ratio is 55.4%. After the bond issue, we estimate that the equity ratio will amount to roughly 35%, and there is a financial covenant and that the issuer has to have a higher equity ratio than 20%. So it's still a huge, let's say, buffer. If we look at the liability side, the issuer has a bank loan of one, which amounts to 1 million euros. And as I mentioned earlier about the bridge financing, which was taken for the expansion and yeah, for the expansion. So 633,000 euros will be refinanced from the proceeds of the bond issue. And for that reason, the collaterals will be the pledge will be taken off from those real estate objects and transferred to the bondholders. It's also worth to move to talk about the risk factors that the investors face, both to the risk factors related to the bonds and to the operational risk factors. These are the list of the risks, but the description of each risk is in our information document, which you can find also publicly. And I would suggest you to read all of them and have your own analysis on the risk factor side. But we can touch at least several of them right now. For example, the liquidity risk, we mentioned that the bonds will be placed on the First North Nasdaq Vilnius exchange. So yeah, from the one side, it provides the liquidity to investors, but we also understand that if the investor wants to sell the bonds before the maturity, there might be some difficulties to do that if he really wants to sell those bonds for a certain price, let's say, or for yeah, for a certain price. So this is the liquidity risk, of course, the credit risk, early redemption risk, which allows the issuer to redeem the bonds before the maturity. Of course, in certain times, the investors paid a premium. If let's say the bonds are redeemed after 1 year, as I mentioned earlier, the premium of 1.5% will be paid to the investors. If the issuer redeems the bonds after 2 years, 1% premium will be paid to the investors, but there's no premium if the issuer redeems the bonds after 2.5 years, even though the whole term of the bonds is foreseen to be 3 years. If we move to the operational risk factors, there are also several of them. Let's say probably the key one is the issuer might face challenges in implementing their development plans, even though they analyze the market pretty well in the recent years. But everything might happen in the development phase, and the issuer might face economic challenges. Also, the regulatory risk, competition risk. Lorina's already mentioned competition and competition factor and how many clinics there are in Lithuania. So certain changes in the environment and in competitive environment might also affect the issuer's financial results and competitive environment. So yeah, as I mentioned, we really suggest you to analyze these risk factors before making your own decision whether to invest or not. And all those detailed descriptions of the risk factors are in the information document. And last but not least, let's get back to the term sheet of the bonds. So just to repeat, the issue is up to 3 million euros. The subscription period is quite short, so I really suggest you to analyze this investment opportunity and make your decision, let's say, until the last day, which will be the 13th of December. The issue date of the bonds is 17th of December 2024. The term is 3 years. Its interest rate is fixed for the whole period. There are no attachments to the Euribor, so it's 10%. Interests are paid semi-annually on the 17th of June and 17th of December. The collateral is primary pledge on the existing real estate, and the real estate which will be acquired from the bond proceeds, and the bank account to which the bond proceeds will be transferred is also pledged to the bondholders. The financial covenants to which the issuer has to comply with, net debt to EBITDA ratio cannot exceed 4.5 times. The equity ratio has to be greater than 20%, and the loan to value ratio has to be cannot exceed 0.91. In other words, the collateral has to be higher than 3.3 million or 10% higher than the bond issue itself. Early redemption, I already mentioned. Yeah, and lastly, the bonds will be placed on the First North on Nasdaq Vilnius in 3 months after the issue. So yeah, right now it's probably it from our side. I see that we have at least several questions, but we wait for more of them. If you have any, please write them, and we will try to answer as much as we can. Yeah, so let's see what we have here. One question probably to you, Lorena Zanagle. One investor asked, we see that the business is profitable, and you have a great collateral, but why don't you get a cheaper financing? And in other words, why don't you choose bank financing?
Yeah, so I will answer this question. Well, by issuing bonds, we can make all the expansion at the same time and open up in different areas at the same time, which helps us in a way, in a competition way. And also, by issuing bonds, it's quicker to get the money than in the bank.
I would say just to add that there is a flexibility for their expansion, as they want to open their spots pretty quickly in all of those cities that they mentioned earlier. And if we choose bank, we have to go step by step. Yeah, and it's pretty easier to control the process while choosing bond finance. Okay. Another question: how will the issuer ensure the value of property used as collateral will not fall below 3.3 million and keep the LTV at 0.91? Yeah, so in the term sheet, we showed that there is a bond trustee in this bond issue, UAB Odefina, who acts in the bondholder's favor. So they are also following all the issuer's liabilities, including the financial covenants. So the issuer takes its responsibility to ensure that the collateral will be higher than 3.3 million, or in other words, the LTV cannot exceed 0.91, and ODFINA, which acts as in the favor of the bondholders, follows that the issuer, let's say, follows its liabilities. What else do we have? A pretty long question. Yeah, I will answer. I will read the question from one investor asks and describes the situation shortly, that 633,000 will be used to repay the previous bridge financing obligations. Around 2.3 million will be used to acquire new real estate objects, equipment, and the issuer will end the bond funds to the issuer. Issuers related companies, meaning that those sister companies. So why such untransparent and complicated scheme is used for financing? I will answer the question regarding the transparency and why the issuer does like that. So it's nothing, I would say, intransparent. The bank that the company has a bank loan in the Šiaulių Bankas. The bank uses the same structure like we use in the bond issuing structure. So the company separates their operational company from its real estate part, and to mitigate the risks, the operational side risks and real estate risks. So it's pretty typical, I would say, in this industry, and not only this industry. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the bank uses the same structure, and the investors get the first rank collateral. So there are no second tier pledges on these assets. So it's separated. The bank loan is pledged to the real estate object that is not related to this issue, and other real estate objects that are not pledged to any other creditors are pledged directly to the bondholders. So it would be the same if we pledge these assets and if the issuer owned those real estate assets. So the structure is really transparent and nothing to hide. Mhm. Yeah, we also have a question from Yanis Berzins, who is a representative of FlyCap fund, and they ask, are you interested in other ways of raising capital, not just through bonds, or would you consider investments or a private loan as alternative funding options? So if you can answer, you can answer it. You can add. I can answer from what we presented in the earlier session. We had a webinar at 10 a.m. So that's the English version, but pretty similar question we had in the morning. So currently they do not plan alternative financing. We believe that the business plan which the issuer prepared is based on the bond issue, and those proceeds shall be enough to complete the expansion. So let's say throughout the period when the bonds will be issued, the issuer is not considering alternative financing and believes that the bonds will be sufficient to complete the existing plan. We also have one question related to the collateral. We can answer it live as well. Total current collateral is estimated to 1.9 million euros. The LTV of 0.91 has to be provided. How are the future assets be distributed between real estate acquisitions and clinic equipment to still achieve LTV 0.91? Simple calculation estimates that 1.4 million must be used to acquire real estate. Is this true? And in Neodenta's business plan, how does LTV take into consideration that the issuer will lend the bonds funds to the issuer's related company, Eglės Kunčiuvienės personal company, which will use these funds to invest in the assets and lease them to the issuer? Yeah, so thank you for your question. So your estimations are correct. As right now, the real estate assets that are pledged to the bondholders amount to 1.939 million euros. So the issuer will acquire the real estate objects and will, let's say, ensure that the LTV has to be lower than 0.91, or in other words, higher than 3.3 million euros. So in other words, there's also the bank account that is pledged to the bondholders. So this bank account will be used for acquiring those real estate objects, and those real estate objects will be pledged in 30 days term. So the real estate pledge will increase. If we talk about the medical equipment, it's not really let's say significant amount in the whole business plan. We estimate it to be roughly 50,000-60,000 euros per clinic. So if there are six new clinics, it will amount to roughly 300,000 euros. So all the remaining amount is let's say allocated to the new real estate objects. I hope we answered your questions, Erki. What is the source of refinancing, and do you have any alternatives available? The source. Oh, okay. Thank you for your question. So, for the bridge financing, there were two real estate objects which were acquired using that bridge financing. So in one case, the bank loan was taken out. The other, in the other case, there was a short-term private debt. So the plan is to refinance it using the bond issue and repay to the bank and to the private, let's say, private debt investor. And that no alternatives are, let's say, are considered right now. We are pretty confident with this scenario. Yeah, there's one more question regarding the Šiaulių Bankas loan. The investor asks whether you tried to take out the loan from Šiaulių Bankas for this expansion plan, and did you get a declined answer, or they just didn't want to provide you financing, or that was not the case?
I will answer the question, what Erica said, and the answer would be no, we didn't go to the bank, because as we spoke before, it will be step by step. It wouldn't be efficient, yeah, and the expansion wouldn't be all objects at the same time. So that's why I decided to choose bonds and to make the expansion. Yeah.
Because Šiaulių bankas loan is for big clinic. It's only one clinic and only one project. So and we now have plans for six clinics. So at that time it was more easy to manage with one object. Yes, and so.
Yeah, just to add what we also answered in the earlier session, which was in Lithuanian language, the plan is actually to open the clinics pretty fast, having in mind that we attract the financing from the bond issue. So the plan is to open those six targets in roughly a year time, or let's say a year and a half. So with the bank financing, it would be much more complicated, and you cannot, ensure that you will make your expansion really fast in the cities that you want to open your new dental clinics. There's also one question related to the new location openings. So the question sounds like that. How long does it take to reach a break even in a new location, new city? So kada jau maždaug veikia, kada veikia ir jau nebenuostolingai, sakykime.
Kad atsidarysim po 4 mėnesių mes.
We plan to open a new object in 4 months, and and to reach the break even, yeah, it would be around half a year. After opening half a year.
Yeah. So in total, if the issuer acquires the premises, let's say, so it takes 4 months to get the certificates and then let's say make it acceptable, or just start the operations. So it takes 4 months, and then to reach a break even up to 6 months. That's at most. Yeah, so we answered this question. We have other questions. Also, one question related to your expansion plan. The question sounds like that. Dental clinic scaling is based on location expansion. You intend to establish clinics in Klaipėda and Šiauliai. These cities have already a lot of clinics. How do you plan to gain your market share and receive additional demand over there?
Yeah, we have a specific targeting to all these new 6 clinics, and this would be the approach to a new market.
Yeah, you can maybe, Laurynas, you can shortly tell about those services that you want to provide, and that in that way you want to enter that market by not saying too much, as I understand, as confidential.
As we mentioned before in the slides, we have agreements with TLK, Territorial Health Insurance. And one of the ways is the orthodontic way, which only 16 clinics has it in all of the Lithuania from 1,500. So this would be, let's say, one of the approaches. Also, the specific targetings could be implantation, children care, and yeah, that's about it.
There's also one question to you, Egle and Laurynas. Yanis says that we are really interested in making an investment. Could you please let us know how we can get in touch with the CEO or the CFO? So our contacts are at the end of the slide. So I think you can contact us, my colleague Mikantas or me, and we can set up a separate call to answer your questions if there are any. So I think that would be the best way to do so. I see that there are actually plenty of questions from the investors, but we are running out of time. So I suggest you to also send the questions to our emails, and we will answer them electronically. If there is a need, we can also make a separate call and answer your questions live. So thank you, Agla. Thank you, Laurinas, for
Thank you,
having us.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, and bye.
Bye.
Bye.